because
Not
to be
anymore.
honest, it's not like a big
I
deal to
was.
me. Okay, never mind. You guys are all fucking.
Yeah, like
you guys
five
talk over me on my own.
conversations.
I don't
goddamn-
understand
This
school.
tribe.
school
Like,
hate
goddamn,
of
you guys talk over me on my own
Fuck
goddamn
Nick,
stream. I'm
fuck
sick of
Nick.
it. Fuck all of you. Okay, you're all terrible people.
Wait, dude,
I
that's
hope,
what you
I
sound-
genuinely,
that's
I
what you
genuinely,
sounded
I
like when you
genuinely
logged
hope that you
into
get shot.
stream.
I hope you get shot and your entire family gets shot. I hope your lineage is hung up until they stink. Oh shit! What's up, Jessica? How you doing?
Hey, oh, okay. Shit.
Yeah, I can hear you. What's
Can
up?
you hear me? Excellent. Thought I'd figure I'd just ambush you real quick.
Oh boy.
You made a comment. I don't know. I wasn't fully listening, but do you really think that it's fair to call trans women women?
Oh yeah. It seems fun.
So then what would we call trans women to distinguish them from women?
Trans women?
Yeah, I mean, like, so we would just say trans women.
Yeah. If you want to call trans women and distinguish them from cis women, you would call them trans women, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the argument was like, but I think that there should be a distinction between the two.
Yeah. There's trans women and there's cis women. Well, they're both women,
Okay.
right?
In a different way, yes.
Sure.
Both women is different. Yeah.
Yeah, they're different women. Just
But-
like there's black women and white women. There's big booby women and the small booby women, but they're all women.
Well, there's a difference between black women and white women and big booby women.
Yeah, but
We
they're all
all
women.
have the same experiences. So we're all in the same group, but trans women and
You think-
women are not in the same group.
I think that fully transitioned
They're
trans
different.
women probably experience a pretty similar experience to other women. Then also, I think additionally that like black women might experience a different experience than white women, right? And then some of them might experience anything at all, right? There are people who grew up in like more or less gendered environments, and that kind of distort the ideas around you or the experiences that you'll
But the
have.
biological experience of a biological woman, will always be different than the biological experience of a trans woman.
Yeah, and that's why we call them trans women, right? Instead of cis
Yeah.
women. So there's a difference
Yeah.
between a cis woman. Those are all like the people who are assigned female birth who decide to identify as women, right? Those people are all clustered together in cis women, right?
Well,
and we also have
how
another
does a cis
category of
woman
people who are trans
identify
women
as
who also go through different experiences, right?
Well, how would a cis woman, or how would someone who's not a cis woman identify as a cis woman?
You wouldn't identify as a cis woman. That would be a claim to your
Okay.
external features, right? That'd be like, I identify as 6 foot tall, ma'am. It's like, yeah, but you're not 6 foot tall. That describes an external reality. So whenever we're saying somebody identifies as something, that's a descriptive of the way that their head works, right? Their preferences. In the same way that I can describe, for example, being like a top or a bottom sexually, like that's a descriptor of what's going on in my head. That's not necessarily a descriptor of the outside world.
Okay. I was challenged by that comment, and I was like, wait, like,
What's up?
because I don't exactly remember what it was, but in my head, I was like, wait, are they trying to say that you can just call them women?
Yeah, you can just
I was
call
like,
it.
that. I mean,
Yeah, so whenever we say woman, we're describing something. I think there's two different ways that we can define, or we could say that we're going to define woman. There's a descriptive way of defining woman, which is the way that we define women right now. And there's like a prescriptive way, like how we should call people women and not women, right? I think that descriptively, we have a set of characteristics that we kind of associate with femininity, and if somebody meets a certain threshold of those characteristics, we clump them together societally as a woman. So you assume that you she, her pronouns, for example, and you treat them in a certain way. And then also, there's different clusters that we use for men. I think that prescriptively we could have a different definition, but I think that women, trans women specifically, who fully transition, would also fall under that cluster descriptively of women. And I think also prescriptively, I think it's probably good to include people into the what would you call it, the category of women whenever it maximizes their well-being. All else equal, obviously.
I mean, what if you don't really care about somebody's well-being?
What?
That you don't. What if? Like,
Why would I not care about somebody's well-being?
I don't really care about people's well-being that I don't know.
So if I gave you a button and it said, okay, you can have like $100, but everybody
I'd
else who
press
you
it
don't know would be killed. You
100%.
press
I'd,
it?
I'd press it.
Okay,
Because
okay.
I
What
would
brings
really
you?
need that money, and I don't know them.
Yeah, sweet. So whenever you come to your conclusions about who you will and will not value, what is the assessment? Like, what's the criteria?
So more it comes down to it does. I don't need to necessarily know them really closely. Okay, so like you, if something happened
Sure.
to you, I'd feel bad. I'd be like, oh, fucking Bunk, man. He was such a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
Even people I don't like it, like I don't know.
Yeah.
If something happened to Keppels, if something happened to Keppels, I'd feel bad. I'd be like, that sucks, man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but some rando Joe Smo, I don't even know, never
Yep.
met, never seen, never talked to, don't care.
Gotcha.
Absolutely not. Yep. Yeah,
Um,
and but like the difference in that is so like if I say on the news, like the Sandy, the was it the Uvalde shooting, right?
mm-hmm.
I felt horrible for those kids, and I felt horrible for the cop that was trying to get to his wife and couldn't, and his wife died. I felt horrible for them. But I think that it was because, in some sort of way, I got to know a little of their story. You know what I mean? Um,
Sure, but you
if
can't care about things you don't know about, right? But knowing about them
Yep, exactly.
necessitates that you care
Hmm.
about them, right? So I were to give you the
Yeah.
button. You know about these people, you know that they exist, right? You know that they cause real harm. It seems that it's almost illogical to not value them to any degree, right? If we would
If
have
if
valued
I
them given more information, right? And the lack of information, I don't think should make us not value them. I think the most rational decisions necessarily are made with the most information.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, so
Um,
if we suppose that we should be acting in the most rational way, right? Um, you'd act in the way as though you had the most information, knowing that all of these people would have their own unique story, right? They'd have their own unique preferences that you might not get to know, but you know they do exist. I think we should act in a way
but
that would be the most rational in that situation, and the most rational way in that situation would be to care about these individuals.
mm, mm, so then there becomes the fact that I'm very much mm, like let me put it this way. So if I was given all the people that I don't know in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the choice was their life or my life, I would choose mine. And so if it like I'm not say or sacrifice one for the many if it involves me because I'm a very
Sure.
selfish
So,
person.
um, what So whenever you say that you value yourself, who is yourself? Like, what makes you you?
Yeah. So myself is the person who needs to be alive because at this very moment and for most of my life I've been the caretaker of many other people that I highly care deeply about. So if I wasn't around, the amount of living people and creatures that would perish because I'm not around in some way, shape, or form uh, is a lot. So there's my mom, there's
Sure.
Scott, there's my animals,
Yeah, but more
like
people would
without
perish.
me,
Yeah.
we're all screwed.
Yeah.
But I care about them more than the other people.
Yeah, but I think you already agree with me that the most rational decisions would be made knowing all of the information, right? And that you know all the information, such as knowing all of these people, you would have made a different decision. And knowing that you would have made a different decision, it would be the most rational decision to make the decision that you would have made given more information. Um, And then also, more to the point, when it comes to, well, I value these people as well, and there's a lot of people who will die. Well, yeah, there's also a lot of people who will die if you don't make the decision. So it seems to be that it would be the most rational decision to make the press the button that would end up killing you.
Mm-hmm. Mm, I don't know. Wait, so hold on. So you're saying that me having all the information of like the people that I know, the most rational, the most rational thing would be to press the button to kill myself as opposed to them.
Yeah, so the most rational decision in any given situation, I believe, is the one made with the most information.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So, for example, right, the most information would be made, or the most information could be gleaned from, for example, experiencing all these people's experiences at once, and then obviously you'd be weighing that. But like an easier way of understanding that would be like if I knew these people intimately, I would obviously care differently about them, and then that would apply to the situation, right? You'd make decisions based on the more information, right, that you know exists, but you don't know the specificities of it. Like the same way that you would make,
Yeah.
for example, decisions based on the idea that like something can exist but you don't know like or like there could be atoms that make up something but you don't know all the atoms in them, right? You make the
Mm-hmm.
decision based on the idea that there are atoms in the thing.
Yeah.
That's a really like kind of mindfucky analogy, but if that made any sense.
Yeah, it was. It was super, super mind. I'm like, I'm probably gonna be
Sure.
thinking about that all day. Um, also, let's. I don't know if you want to go ahead and get into it quickly, but did you want to get into which one? Um, which one were we going to talk about? Oh, I mean, if you want to get into the doxing thing,
Well, do
the
we want to
first
get into
name
the
being a
doxing
dox.
thing? Yeah, sweet. All
Yeah,
right, let's get into
sure.
the doxing thing. All right.
Okay. All right. So, to me, a first name, no matter how unique, wouldn't be a dox unless they also had your city and state. And like that's a city, not a county, like a city and a small city. Because like my name's super fucking common, sure. Like you can even have if my first, middle, and last name got doxed and my city and state, you would still have be hard pressed to find exactly where I am. That's how common my name is. However, um, like you can have a name like Kiana in Dallas, Texas, and you're still going to be hard pressed to find exactly where that Kiana is if it's just the first name.
Sure. There are a few problems that I take with this definition. The first one is that it just doesn't seem to be the way that we use doxing, right? Like, people would say that like raintism got doxed, for example, being there was a city put out with his name, right? Or not a city put out with his name, but like the city put out under the name raintism. That's where he lives.
So it was just raintism, not his actual name, just raintism lives
Well,
in
no,
this
his name
city.
is public by his own accord.
Okay, so and someone gave his city.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, but people would call that doxing, right? Like that's descriptively how we use the term. That's how we use it.
Well, if all they're saying is, oh, there's his. Well, how is your city? How is a city a personal identifying piece of information?
Because it can be used something that is something that is used to track an individual. I mean, if you want to go down what personally identifying information will be defined as by like a government agency, I have that for you if you really want to go to it.
Mm-mm. No, I mean I understand what but in order to find somebody, you would need first and last name
Well, though you don't
and
necessarily
their
need
city
first and
state.
last name, right? All these things would help in finding more specifics about an individual, right?
Yeah.
So knowing somebody's location would be helpful in narrowing down the types of people. Because what we're doing whenever we're doxing somebody is we're narrowing down a search of different types of people, right? So one thing that
Mm-hmm.
could narrow it down would be like a name. Another thing that could be narrowed down as like a place of residency, and then you keep narrowing it down further and further until you find a specific individual. Each of those pieces of information are personally identifying. In and of themselves, they are not completely identifying.
Yeah. So you're right. You're right. And then there is that whole thing that with Keffels, they found her hotel by her bed sheets,
I don't
and
believe that
the
they found her
general
hotel
area
by her
that
bed
she.
sheets. I think that's a lie. I think it was the metadata of the
Yeah.
image. There's no way they
How
found
do you?
their
Yeah,
fucking
geez.
place by her bed sheets. That's a fucking lie.
How do you get someone's metadata from an
Oh,
image on Discord?
so I'm not like a complete expert in digital image taking, but I
Yeah.
believe this is the case, right? I think this is a way more plausible explanation than the idea that somebody
Yeah.
cross-referenced bed sheets in hotels, or like in London. Um, It's specifically whenever images are taken, they take, I believe, the time and then something about there's things about the location. There's multiple different things that are taken and put down in the metadata of an image, and there are ways to extract the metadata from an image. And if you upload it onto the internet completely unedited, I believe that the metadata somewhat still remains there. I believe there are some places that can remove the metadata, and there are ways to remove metadata of images, but these are used for like tracking where things were
Yeah.
taken and things of that nature. I believe they're also used in forensics. I believe that there's an entire field of forensics that are used like around the metadata of images and like things of that nature. Now I'm not an expert on it. I can't give like super specific commentary, but I do know metadata of images, or the metadata is kept in an image and it could probably be extracted from something like Discord. I think that's an infinitely more plausible explanation than somebody cross-referencing bed sheets across hotels, and probably multiple hotels use similar bed sheets. And it's also a white bed sheet, okay? like.
Goodness. Ah, I
I
just,
just
I
don't
just,
find it like super plausible that like they cross-referenced bed sheets. I don't know how the fuck we got
yeah,
there.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, these, they're crazy. They're crazy over there. They're absolutely crazy, and it is plausible because hotels do have some hotels, and I'm sure with her $90,000, she went to a very nice hotel, have very specific bed linens and very specific. I mean, they do. So it is. That's why I
Hmm.
don't know about the metadata because I just don't know how you're going to extract someone's
Yeah.
metadata from a picture.
So images. So this is something that's like really easy. Like you can look this kind of thing up. Image metadata is a text information pertaining to an image file that is embedded with the file or contained in a separate file that is associated. Image metadata includes details relevant to the image as well as information about its production.
Yeah,
So whenever images are taken, they typically have some kind of like metadata associated with them.
yeah. But I always thought that the metadata was kept onto the device that was used to take said picture.
Um, I don't know if that's necessarily true. I believe that images can be uploaded with their metadata. I don't know if how that works around Discord, but like I think that's like a more plausible
Well, they
thing
can.
than
I think you know
bed
what? You're right
sheets.
because they might have if they upload it. Well, no, because hmm. Let me see.
But like the metadata can be stored within an image file itself. So if you upload an image file, you can 100% upload the metadata along with it.
Yeah. So then in that case, anytime I upload a photo to Twitter,
I'm sure it also depends on the place that the photo is uploaded. I bet if like Twitter has something surrounding like the metadata and whether it's contained within the image or if it's things of that nature. I don't know if it's necessary. Oh my god, I can't spoil right now. I don't know if that's necessarily true for Discord, however, because Discord is like it just kind of
yeah,
like hosts the file. I believe that I think Twitter like does some really weird fucky shit around it. I don't know. I'm not like a web developer. I couldn't tell you
yeah,
anything about this. I know somebody who probably would be
yeah.
able to tell you about it, but I won't.
I would love to find out how metadata is stored because like because I always thought like when I take a photo, it goes into a file, right? But the
Hmm.
file and the photo, there's it's usually on my device. But if I like say I link up my Google Drive
Hmm.
and it automatically goes there as well, that's a copy of the photo.
It's a copy of the photo, and
And
I would presume that there's probably some. I presume there's probably metadata stored in that. I don't know. Like again, we're
and
completely out of my field. We're completely out of my depth of
oh,
knowledge. I just know that
it
this is a thing. Um,
was just super.
I I,
Just
I don't
that
like
point.
talking about things that I don't know about.
But
I'm very autistic because I know somebody's gonna clip me and be like on Twitter. Actually, you're completely wrong on this. Okay, you have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, dude, fuck, you're right. Like you got me, man.
right?
I have no fucking clue what I'm talking about. This is just shit that I've heard, and
Yeah. Um. But yeah. So with the doxing thing, um, I want to ask you, how did someone get your first name? You gave
because
it to them?
when we were friends, I entrusted them with my first name. They knew I was very uncomfortable with it being spread around. They knew this, right? Because they had to pry at me for it. I said, okay, well, the possibility that we do meet up in the future, right? Here's my first name. I prefer that you call me by my first name than my internet name. I think it's really fucking weird when people call me by my internet name in the real world, okay? The Bunk, the streamer, is not out there in the real world, okay? If Bunk was
Yeah.
there in the real world and you called them Bunk, they'd call you an N-word, the N-word for it, okay? That person is fucking wild. But specifically, I think it's really fucking weird when people call me by my internet name in real life. Like I'm in real life, just call me fucking Noah. Call me like a normal name. I remember when I met up with like
You
Daft
said
Pina.
in,
When I met up with Daft Pina, he would constantly call me by my internet name, even though we were in real world. And I don't fucking know why. Nobody else
had
did.
it.
It was just Daft Pina who did it. Nobody
Yeah.
else called me by my internet name. It was really fucking weird. But I entrusted it to him. We had a very hard split. He didn't like me. I didn't like them. Now it's been a while. But also while not liking me, they gave out my fucking name or some shit.
Yeah, you seem to give out a lot of information because how I met you was because you shared your files, your little folders with
Well, yeah, but
Blair, and Blair blasted it on Twitter.
I didn't share them with Blair. It came up in a conversation. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, you seem that you share a lot with people that you should
I'm a
vet a
fairly
little bit
public
more.
person now. Okay, I've realized that a lot of my shit is just gonna get fucked with anyway. So it's like I don't know, fucking, I'll put it on. Like, I don't know, dude. It's so fucking hard because people don't shut their mouths on the internet. Like, I don't know what you want from me.
Like I just like I because anyone like there's I met true crime, true horror stories, true crime. I
Hmm.
met her IRL. I know what her first name is, but
Sure.
uh, other than one instance, kind of kept it to myself. And we met IRL before we knew each other's names, right?
Yeah. That's
And
weird as fuck. What did you call each other in the real world?
well, so like when we met, like when we were face to face,
What did you say? Like,
I
hi,
was like,
true crime? Like, what the,
I
how the
said
fuck did
true
that
crime,
work?
and then we hugged, and
Bro,
then
what?
and then wow, yeah, literally, and then while we were sitting in the bar, she's like, oh, by the way, my real name is this, and I was like, oh, okay, and I was like, yeah, and I was like, yeah, here's my real name, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, you had to
But
explain what your real name was. I'm sure you did. And I find that
yeah,
really believable.
well,
Yeah.
well, I mean, my first name obviously is obvious, but my last name, no, it's definitely not Pizzle. I did that one
I
because
would
I was thinking of
never.
Snoop Dogg, and I was like J Pizzle Jizzle. I don't know why,
All right. No.
but I mean, like, but that's the thing. Like, even like me and Tipster, we have each other's personal phone numbers, right? But
Gotcha.
and I of course and the only reason I really know his first name is because it's been leaked. But both of us like the only time that we ever uh talked about like we don't I don't know where he lives, he doesn't know where I live, kind of thing, like we know the cities, right? Um
Gotcha.
but I and who is it? Miss like a few others, like even Mango. I told Mango one of the bars that I hang out with a lot when she was down here because I had planned to go, but then I got too drunk, so we never met up. So
Gotcha.
like,
Um,
but I wouldn't be like, hey Mango, here's my address, Hey Mango, here's my full name,
well,
Um,
no, obviously
and
not. But
it,
like, you probably could.
it
It's like, to me, it's not fucking crazy the idea. It's like, yeah, if I give somebody my name, right, and I tell them to keep it in confidence and they don't, it's like, yeah, it's pretty fucked.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not something
I
I
mean,
like
it is
care
fucked.
that much about.
It is
I'm gonna be
fucked
honest.
what happened. I just don't see how someone can pin your location down through it. But maybe
Well, I
because I'm
highly
just
doubt
not.
that anybody can pin my location down. Okay, if a person does it, I will give them money. Okay, to tell me how they did it and like help me fucking secure that shit because I'm very 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 tight with the things that I keep close to my chest. Right, that my fucking location is
Yeah,
incredibly hard to find. There are like a couple of things that I've taken like maybe one photo uploaded to Twitter outside of my house that was like miles like that was multiple hours out from my house though. Right.
yeah,
I stream in the same room every single day. Like I don't do much right on the internet that reveals like super hyper personal shit. I talk about like my life, and that's the most personal thing that you'll find about me. Um, so I don't think that I like would be hyper tracked down by it. But if somebody were to track me down, it would probably help knowing like my name. That'd be like a really basic thing, right? That would help confirm the idea of like the person that you're finding is me. That'd be like the first thing. Then also, it does help narrow me down from like a bunch of people Again, the amount of people with a specific first name is more narrow than the amount of people in the United States of America, and that's more narrow than the people with my first name in like the Austin city. And then we see how like we
Yeah.
start getting more specific with it. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I agree that it's messed up that you know,
Well,
but
yeah,
then
but
see
like
that's the thing.
obviously, I
Like
feel,
a lot of people disagree with me with certain things because I also think that even if it is public, but not everyone in the like, even if you found it on, oh well, they like the Salvo thing, how Slug found his old shit by going through different avenues to find it and
well, yeah,
then
it's just like
leaked
how
it,
you
right?
dox somebody, though, right? It's not directly linked. There's obviously something there. But when
Yeah,
we're talking about this wasn't something that was publicly available knowledge, right? It was leaked, and it was leaked for no like greater cause. Like maybe if I was like raping kids all day or some shit, I was sending like child porn to people, maybe then I could like see somebody like you dox somebody, but there's no greater cause to any
I
of
mean,
this.
but
It was just done out of
if you're
spite,
gonna
really.
sit there and post someone's whole name for with the intention of, oh, they're a bad person, then I would also expect a police report. In which case, all their information ends up public anyway.
Yeah.
You know, like I spent lots of money clearing everything about me from the internet from my past, lots and lots of money. So I think that the only like if my
Oh
shit's out
shit! What the
there,
fuck did you
it's
do?
on the black web.
Oh holy fuck! What the fuck did you do? You kill a guy?
I'm no, 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 no,
I
no,
don't
no,
know if
no,
I
no, no.
believe you.
I just no.
Shit, dude. What
No,
the
because
fuck?
I don't think I'd be able to. I don't think I'd be able to clear that information unless I did it when I was a minor. But I don't even think you would be able to clear that information as a minor either. Like, like there's that whole. So like that's brings me another thing. Like flamenco's whole. Oh, it's a sealed document of traffic tickets. Like you don't seal traffic tickets. What the? No, there's absolutely not. Like
Gotcha.
minor or not, you just don't. Like I looked in the state of Virginia, I looked at the federal, I looked at everything. When it's a minor and you have a traffic violation, that shit doesn't get sealed. It falls off after 7 years in Virginia. Like so
Gotcha.
if the document's still there, it's not a traffic violation, it's something. And it's
Flamenco like
something
raped
yeah.
somebody or some shit. I don't know.
I don't know what it was, but it
Base
had to have.
flamenco.
I'm thinking more of a child services thing.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm thinking that because
I don't know.
I mean
I'm gonna be
it's
honest. I don't really care that much about flamenco. I've had a couple of
yeah.
chats with him. He, um, I mean, he's
Afterwards,
opinionated. Well,
after the fact, have you had chats with him after everything?
yeah. I had a conversation with
Well,
flamenco. I've debated flamenco. That was a
yeah.
very public debate. There was like 50 people on a VC. That's recorded.
Uh, was it?
Um,
Did it ever get posted?
is it posted? No. I might post it. I had family come in on me and start talking about it. There was only like 2 lines that I probably like posted with the family because you can hear what my
Yeah.
family sounds like. With people, things are dying to know. Crazy shit. No, I'm just too lazy to go through and edit it. I might throw it over to one of my editors, tell them to watch it, find the part.
Yeah, because you just said it as if I should know about it, but like, if it wasn't posted, how does anybody know?
Well, not because I've been on Flamenco's stream before and shit.
So I've talked to flamenco. I mean we've talked on stream before, but
Well, yeah, no,
like,
I'm not like chatting up Flamenco like personally. Like he doesn't know anything
but
about
you're
my
talking
type.
about a debate that you didn't post,
Sure.
and that's kind of messed. Like, what kind of creator are you who doesn't post a debate
Like your
with
creator has
flamenco?
like 50 fucking debates a day. Okay. Like,
But this is
this is the idea.
flamenco. This is
Um,
flamenco.
I'm not gonna lie. The entire debate, he sounds really like. There are a couple of things working against him. One, he's not that good at debating. Two, he's taking on both me and my buddy Synth, which is like super. The only way they could be more fucked for them is if we get like phonomics in there. And then like three, they had like the bad position on the issue, so they were just like wrong. It was, like everything was working against them in the conversation. Then Salvo Pancakes came in there and just kept calling Flenko a pedophile, which was like, yes.
I don't know how Salvo does it because there's like
I think calling people
I just
pedophiles
don't
on the
know.
internet is pretty easy. I know
No,
how
no,
someone does it. He says, "Stop being a pedophile, flamenco." It's pretty easy. Mouth sounds aren't that hard to get
eh,
out.
yeah. I mean, sure. I mean, I don't know. I just can't. I
Gotcha.
can't go that far because then, and for me, like Salvo is definitely like he's the guy that he's just trolling. He's a troll kind of thing. That's his
No,
character, right?
I couldn't do
But
the
like
thing where I'm
me
like
or
constantly a
you,
troll. No, I couldn't do that.
yeah, that's the thing. Me or you trying to do that, like, but also flipping. You can't flip him back and forth, right?
I can't.
And
I mean,
so,
I do some irony poisoned ass shit on the internet, but
yeah,
like,
but it's
I
obvious.
couldn't do the
You're
thing
not
where I'm.
Jeff Noodles. It's obvious when you're being like,
Yeah. The thing is, I couldn't do the thing where like I constantly am trolling fucking everybody. That sounds like, it's really fun to like go in somewhere and troll the fuck out of somebody, but I can't do it where it's like more so what I do like often.
yeah,
Because I like
yeah.
having
No, yeah, I
serious
can.
conversations with people. The problem is whenever you're talking about the troll is that they never believe anything they say, so there's nothing to really be gleaned from the conversation other than entertainment value. And some people are not very
Mhm.
entertaining trolls, so it's point.
No, no,
At
no,
least
they
if I'm
really
talking to somebody who's genuine and a fucking retard, it's like at least I know they're genuinely being retarded.
aren't. Goodness.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Um,
no. Oh, and then what was the other thing that we
shit.
argued about a little bit? Um, fuck. What was the other thing that we argued about? Oh, trauma.
Oh
The
shit.
use of the word trauma.
Yeah. What about it?
Yeah, yeah. I just automatically, anytime anybody uses trauma online, I immediately think, okay, trauma. What's your trauma? Please tell me about your
If you start mocking
trauma.
somebody whenever they say that like they had a traumatic stalking experience, you do look like a fucking retard though. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You look
But
incredibly retarded.
like you just said, oh, my stalker, but like
Yes.
immediately online for you to have a stalker, immediately to me, I'm thinking it's an online person that just bugs them online.
What the fuck? No?
Like, because that's how it is, though. I'm telling you, most of the 9 times out of 10, when someone says, I have a
If
stalker,
9 times out of
and they say
10,
it online,
okay, so if 9 times out of 10 somebody came out to me and like they had a stalking experience, I was like, yeah, you had a stalking experience, yeah, buddy, yeah, and I immediately started mocking them. That one time I'm gonna be like a major asshole, right? So that's why you shouldn't say that, right? Like you seem like a huge dickhead. Maybe like ask
mhm,
a question. That's not that like out of the line. But whenever you immediately assume like, oh yeah, what they're saying is invalid and like stupid as fuck, you look like first of all, you look abrasive as fuck, and then you also look like a dumb
mhm.
shit. Like I don't know,
I
it seems
mean,
like pretty clear.
I,
It's like yeah, it's not the comment you make.
yeah, no, no, like, yeah, my comment was based purely on an assumption of, because when I think of when I think of you, you have a lot of people that you know online and people that have fought you online, and like you were close friends and now you're not, kind of thing like that. So when I think of
Boy.
you and you say my stalker, I automatically add in online. But then when you add trauma to it, yes, I mean, yes, when it comes to people using trauma, the word trauma online, I automatically assume the least of the least. Now,
Well, yeah,
when
but
you
like you look like a
explained it to me
dumb
and what
shit when you
happened,
do, right?
I don't think I look like a I
No,
think
you
I look like a
do.
complete and
You
utter
you do look like a
asshole.
dumb shit. You
But
look like an
how does it?
asshole when you do that. No, you totally do,
And
right? Like if I
I'll
every
admit
single
I
time
look
someone
like
would
an
claim
asshole.
like trauma, I was like, okay, yeah, you were traumatized. Yeah, buddy. You look like a huge
Yeah.
dickhead, especially if you get something like that wrong. But also you're kind of like making huge presumptions about the way that they're using the words. Um
Mhm.
And like the harm that you could cause by like making that comment to like a really bad like to somebody who's like really vulnerable and that like type of shit, like it's just better not to tread that line. It seems like it's like a
Well,
losing bet if you make that that presumption.
how like, so let me ask you this.
Sure.
How how traumatizing can something be if you're willing to put it out for the fucking Twitterverse, Sissy.
For
Knowing how Twitter is,
regarding that,
how
I didn't put it out for the.
traumatizing can it be?
I mean, it depends, dude. Like, maybe you get, like, fucking raped or some shit, but you want to, like, expose somebody for, like, raping you. Then maybe you put it out to the Twitterverse, right? Maybe there's more good in that than not doing that.
But then
But hell, maybe
usually
there's
when
something that's
that
super
happens,
inconsequential.
they're explaining it. Usually when that happens, they're saying, this is why I'm doing this. They're not just saying, oh, here's some vague thing about this person and they're just bad, right? They're explaining exactly
Who
what
are
the
you
trauma is.
describing?
They're not saying,
Yeah, but if they're not describing what the
plenty
trauma
of
is, then they're not
people,
putting out a traumatic
I could,
experience, are they? They're just saying that something happened, right? Like you said, like whatever you're putting out a traumatic experience, whatever somebody puts out a traumatic experience, like obviously there's something that like.
but I mean, if they're just saying it's
Yeah.
traumatic, but they're not explaining, that's what I'm saying. If they're saying, oh, here's this guy gave me, I don't, let me say, Mama Max with Olivia, right? Olivia and Mama Max, right? Oh, what if her twit longer just consisted of Mama Max is bad and he should be canceled because he caused me trauma, right? And
Who
then
the fuck is doing this?
with your
Who are you talking
uh,
about?
well, there's a fucking like so. Let me say. All right, let me put this. So, do you think that every time you read a twit longer of someone being exposed, that it's automatically worst case scenario and they're totally right?
No, that sounds insane.
Okay.
Of course
Yeah.
not. That has nothing to do with
So
like. But if somebody says like, "Hey, oh yeah, no, this thing happened to me," I'm just like, "You're fucking lying, okay? You think that actually happened to you?" Like, obviously, I look like a little bit of a dickhead, right?
well, I mean, so yes, no, but I mean, that's not exactly what I did. I just saw, oh,
Well,
my
no, what you
stalker
did
is
was immediately
traumatic.
afterwards. You typed in alternated case to like mock it. I mean, if you want, we can bring up the comment. I still have it saved. It's
Yes, please.
like it
Because
was
I don't remember.
clearly mocking it, right? Like, come on.
Oh no, I was 100%. I
Yeah.
was
So,
100% mocking you.
so then
I was
what are we arguing
100%.
about? Like, it was a stupid fucking
But
comment to make. You look like a dumbass.
no, why? All you said was stalker and trauma, and you did it online, and you're known for having a bunch of online friends. So immediately I thought
I'm known for
your
having a bunch of.
stalker was
I'm like
online.
the #1 bridge burner on the internet, dog. What do you mean I have a bunch of online friends? There's like there's some
Well,
communities
that's
of
what I
people
mean.
that like
That's
me.
that's what I mean. You have a lot of you're the ultimate bridge burner. So you have a lot of online friends that you burned bridges with, and then they become bad people, like people that like log you or
Yeah,
whatever,
but if I'm
whatever the
expressing
case.
something and I'm like, hey, by the way, this is like a traumatic experience, one thing that you might ask is like, okay, well, what do you mean by it was like a traumatic experience, right? Like that would be like a normal question
Mhm.
to ask. But if you immediately jump on like, oh yeah, you had a traumatic experience, really, buddy? It's like, come on.
Yeah.
It's very obviously you're investing into something, you're making claims about it. And I just think
Well,
that that's
I
pretty
don't know
obviously
about
the comment
Meg.
that you don't make. It makes you look like a dumb shit.
Mm,
Even if you feel like you were justified in making it look makes you look like a fucking retard.
I don't know if it makes me look like a retard
Oh
as
no, it
much as it
definitely
makes
does.
me look like just a uncaring asshole. Because like even when so anybody like even when Anna Frills made her shit and about Destiny, right?
Sure.
Prior to Destiny kind of responding to it, right? It was very much, even then, I was like, okay, you sound like you got ghosted. Big whoop. Holy crap. Stop crying about it, right? And
But
then
if you
she's like,
immediately
oh,
so even with Anna Frails, right? Like one thing you could ask, you just start like asking questions about like what happened, right? That would be like the normal person response. But if I'm immediately like somebody's like, oh yeah, something traumatic happened to me, I'm like, no, it didn't. Okay, you're fucking lying. There's no way that was traumatic. Are you fucking insane? Are you crazy? Like obviously one of these responses is
yeah.
more preferable than the other, and one of them makes me look a lot better than the other one.
And one of them just makes me look like I'm not going to sit there and moral fag off or moral F over, oh, let me just be optical when I respond to your
Well,
little
yeah,
twit longer about how you had a bad boyfriend. Like, why?
well,
Why? I
no,
don't care to. I'm
it's
not
just
going
about
to be like,
making comments
well,
in ways that don't make me sound don't make you sound crazy, right? Like when you make a comment, obviously your intention is to not sound insane, right?
online, I don't know. if this was like
Are you?
IRL and
I
you were
mean,
like,
dude. Oh fuck it.
and
If
I
you're
could
trying to come off
see
as
how
unhinged with
you
some
were
of your tweets and,
explaining
and your
to
fucking
it.
comments, you're doing a great job. Okay, keep it up. But for most
I
people, I feel like the intention is to like not come off as a crazy unhinged maniac who's like dumb as shit. No, I mean, dude, fuck it. If that's your
why would
intention, I'm not gonna
someone
like debate you out of
who,
it.
well, let me put it this way. So for me personally, right?
Sure.
I went through the beginnings of my online, like when I came online and started interacting with people online, right? I was caring, I was kind, I was super optical. I
Yeah.
tried everything I could to be optical, and I still got the label of unhinged. So why the fuck would I try anymore to be anything else other than what other people see me online?
Um. I, I don't know. I'd have to see your specific comments and like why people call you unhinged. I just don't think that people were like, oh yeah, this person's unhinged, and they didn't know anything else about you.
Well, I
I
mean, a
mean,
lot of it started with, I mean, most people in this community know where a lot of it started was uh, uh, the fucking Half Baked podcast, I think. I don't know. But most of the people thought I was unhinged just because of the way I look. And a lot of people think I'm unhinged just because of the way I look. Like when I went to the Deaf Noodles thing, I was totally cool. I was I was talkative, yes. I was smiling. I was
I don't
having
know,
a great
dude.
time, right? And
Like,
yet
I
I'm
don't know,
called
dude. Like, maybe if everybody's
unhinged and
calling you fucking
crazy.
crazy, I just wouldn't like dive into be like, yes, I'm gonna become the most insane person on the internet possible. Like, it just doesn't seem to
Well,
like be the thing for me. Like, there are tons of people
but
on the internet who call me like fucking crazy on Unhinged, but like every single time I make a statement, I try and make it to make sound the most rational possible. I put like a lot of effort into
yeah.
the way that I come off, right? The way that people will interpret my statements. That's obviously what I'm thinking about
So
when I'm making a statement.
you never have a moment of, okay, so no matter what I do, this is how people are gonna think, so fuck it.
Um, no. Like, just because there's gonna
Hmm.
be a couple of people who will watch a debate with me and think that I got fucking destroyed doesn't mean I'm gonna like act in a way that's gonna make me look like I got fucking owned. Like,
Oh well, that's different. Like
well, no, it's not really,
that's
right? It's
I
the
mean
court of
that's
public
I
opinion.
mean I
It's
think that's
assessed in
different.
similar
Like that's
ways. It's there's statements we're making in the court of
mm,
public opinion that are going to be assessed, and people are gonna have their opinions about them.
mm,
Like, obviously, there's gonna be fucking crazy people who view you however the fuck they want, but like, you want to get the majority of people on your side, then you're gonna be like working in ways that are going to be hypothetically like or be optimal when making statements. I don't know, dude. It's just like,
I just honestly I just like the whole I gotta be optical online and I gotta seem like a nice person online. Like it just doesn't, I don't know. Maybe I just haven't been on here long enough to care about how I'm viewed online as opposed to how I'm viewed
I don't know, dude.
with people who know me
I, I
IRL.
mean, I guess you're just like a random person this way, right? You don't have any larger intentions. I don't know, dude. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that might be the biggest difference is there was a point where I was like, I'm going to grow my channel. And in order to grow my channel, I need to be someone that people want to watch, right?
Sure.
And then there was a point where I was like, fuck this bullshit. It's too much work. I don't even fucking care.
I guess
Right?
a
So
large part of
then,
it to me, a large part of the ways that I interact with people online is I want to come up in the way that is going to be appealing to the most people because I think that whenever people hold like different views, they can like have good effects when people are more informed rather than less informed, right? So whenever I get on the internet and I talk to people, I want to ideally have them come into a conversation, listen to what I'm having to say, and then like move towards my positions on different issues because I think that what I'm spouting is true, right? I've been wrong on things before. I've changed my mind on things. I try and be as honest as possible whenever I act in the online space. Whenever it
mhm.
comes to like making statements, obviously I want to make statements in a way that like more people are going to like what I'm saying. I don't want to make things that are just intentionally provocative for no reason whatsoever. I guess like if
Well,
you
yeah,
don't have that intention, maybe you go onto the internet and you want to sound like a fucking crazy person. Maybe you're fucking Salvo Pancakes and you want to seem like somebody who's absolutely insane and it's funny to everybody. Like that's fine. Those are your goals. It's not my goals, right? I just don't see like how it served like a greater purpose to make the comment. But like, fuck, I don't know, dude. Maybe like, oh.
I didn't mean to trigger you again, if that's what
I mean,
happening.
I'm not triggered. I'm a very detached
Okay.
person on the internet, okay? People can say insane shit. I'm totally fine. But I do like talking about people on Twitter, and I do like going into on dumb people and dumb statements, okay? I love it, okay? There are days where I wake up and I'm like, dude, fuck, I'm gonna argue with somebody right now, okay? I don't know,
Yeah.
I know most people can't do that. I could constantly be in arguments and I'm fine. I'm
Oh, yeah.
constantly
I
in
mean,
fights.
everyone who's muted me knows that I can constantly be in arguments and I'm fine. Uh,
Gotcha.
it's
Um,
there's times like there was. I can admit that there's few things that I don't want to be seen as, like of course racist, uh, and like I don't ever want to make a statement that would make people think I'm a pedophile sympathizer, kind of thing. Like
well,
those are the two. Like I would hate those kind of statements, but pretty much anything else, like even Omnia, when Omnia made her uh, post about, oh, I have the cat and I need money. Like everyone's like, oh my god, yeah, and I'm like, why did you take his cat if you can't even afford it? Really, like I had zero sympathy for throughout that
well,
entire thing. I have zero
gotcha.
sympathy because at first it was just her story prior to Kai's story, but when it was just her story, I'm not no fuck I'm not gonna sit there and jump on it as if it's true because I don't know what his side of the story is. And
Yeah,
then
but
his
like you
side
did
of the
jump,
story comes out.
but the thing is, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you talk about something, right? Necessarily
Mhm.
by denying it, you are taking a side to the story, right? And it's something I see a lot of the times whenever I assess allegations on the internet, right? People will see people make a
Mhm.
statement and they think like being skeptical of the statement means like saying like denying it outright. When in reality, that's another positive claim that you're making. Saying that something didn't have it is another positive claim. So the best thing you can do whenever somebody's claiming something is be like, okay, well, I'm not necessarily know if that's true, and then you ask a couple of questions. But what you did is you hard took a position on like what happened. You had no fucking idea about it, and like in my opinion, you look like really fucking
Oh,
dumb.
with yours,
Okay.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. No, yeah, I 100% took it because
Yeah. Sure.
like in my mind, I was like, there's absolutely no way that this went beyond online, and I
Well, the
did.
thing is,
I
it
took a
wasn't even
hard position
online.
on it when I.
This is something like I met in the real world. They
Then
don't know anything about what I
I
do
know
online. I hope to God they
afterwards
never
when
find
you
something like
explained
that.
it to when you quote, I think you quote tweeted it, but and I was like, oh well, shit, yeah, they took it IRL. That sucks. That
Yeah.
that
Well.
can be, yeah, but yeah, I did. I assumed, and I do apologize for that,
Yeah.
especially
Sure.
since it was you. And I really should be more careful about the people that I like in the community and not jumping to those conclusions right away with them. I
Gotcha.
really should be more careful with
Yeah,
that.
I guess the thing is for me, like, I don't think I have a history of ever being like imprecise with my language. I think I'm very specific whenever I want to say a thing. So I don't know. It's just really weird to me when somebody's like, okay, well, you might have been using the word in like a completely like, weird fucked way. It's like, okay, well, okay. I don't know, fuck. Maybe if that's your experience with other people, maybe you come to the conclusion. But I think it's like kind of stupid. But I mean, if you apologize for it, and there's no real reason to meander on it, it's not really gonna make much of a difference if we talk over it like a bunch of different times.
Yeah, true. I do tend to also talk often, so
Oh yeah,
there's
boy,
that too.
I'm a very talkative person. Okay, I love talking with people. This is my lifeblood. Okay, I I am one of the most talkative people I know. I think, and the problem
No,
is I've had times where I've been trying to do this more recently. It's like I feel like I dominate a conversation more and more and more. I'm trying to like be the person who's just asking questions and feel out somebody's position.
ew. Gosh, I'm since you said that, that just made me think about all my past conversations, and I,
I don't know, dude. I
that's really hard not to. That's really, it's
uh,
really hard not to.
Yeah, I don't know. But then like even sometimes there are times I've had conversations with somebody where I ask them questions and it's like so clear they don't know what they're talking about and it's like, dude, shit, like what do we do? This person's like fucking insane. Like I'm having a conversation with an asylum patient. What the fuck do I do now? Like the last person I had a conversation with, they literally thought they unironically, I asked them what like moral things were and they were just like, whatever you feel like. And I'm like, okay, dog. What
No,
the
I
fuck do I
mean,
do with that?
I was
What do you want? I feel like
no,
raping kids is
I
good.
heard that. I heard that. I saw that you were doing, and it's like 4v1. I was like, oh, this should be good. And then I was listening to it. I was like, what? Did they all just just decide to give up? What is like
No,
there
there are
was
people on
like
there are
even
people. Oh my God, there are people on Twitter saying I rage quit that debate and I lost it. And I'm like, how the fuck? What the fuck? What debate did you listen to? Like,
I don't even
I hate
like
calling it as like I win a conversation, but these people literally conceded their argument. They didn't have a single point.
yeah. And were they the original people that were having the argument with you? Because that was confusing too. Because it to me it seemed like so. This is how bad. If those were the actual people that were supposed to quote unquote win a debate against you,
These were the
the,
people who were apparently supposed to like take me on and like debate the fuck out of me, dude. The thing is, this is what actually this
those
is my
people that were actually on there,
yes, those are the people who are on there. My theory on it is
yeah,
this: they originally it was just supposed to be a 4-on-1 debate with Nat, but Nat's not a very good
yeah.
debater to my knowledge, right? They have very little experience in it. So whenever I come and I this was kind of confirmed to me by the second conversation I had with the other person. Um, they know that I'm going to be debating them, and it's like almost immediately they back off because like I'm somebody who debates people on the internet. I have a reputation around debating. And then also
Mm-hmm.
I found one of the people who was like didn't have a single argument against me in my Discord server trying to debate somebody in here. So whenever I joined the VC, I was like, oh shit, they're having this conversation, buddy. Do you have any arguments? They just don't want to argue with me. I think the problem is that I was there and they don't want to have to justify their stance to somebody who's going to be hypercritical of them.
Yeah, but why would they? That's so stupid.
Because
Because
the debate was
the
initially supposed to
people,
be against just Nat. And I think that, like, if you
yeah.
drop out of a debate once, like, somebody else has joined in, it's kind of, like, obvious why you're ducking, right?
Hmm. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, it was so confusing to me because at first I was like, okay, so these aren't the people that originally he was going to debate, and they're
No,
just coming
these were the
on to
people who were
say,
supposed to
just to come
debate,
on.
dude.
But the fact that you just said those were the people that you were supposed to debate is so confusing to me because they literally agreed with everything and conceded like right away.
No, yeah, they conceded, like, every single point, but then apparently they didn't actually agree with them, but I think they just didn't want to argue.
But they did, so they can't say they didn't. It's on
Well,
video that they did.
they want to argue with somebody else, though. That's the thing. They want to argue with somebody who's not going to, like, argue against them very well. Shit, dude. Nat was in Giggle meme mode once you essentially took over the position, made him look retarded, in my opinion. I feel like the problem is I DM'd Nat earlier on. I was like, by the way, whenever we get into this debate, just take like a kind of like a back seat. So I don't really blame them for not saying anything.
Oh, Nat, is that like that Nat's his guy at whatever
Oh,
the
the
Scrimmage?
Natty Forsyth, yeah. She's like I don't know,
No,
dude.
I know.
The,
I
there's a couple of things that make me a little bit cautious when like associating with them. I don't know, dude.
yeah,
It's too many memes for me, dude. I can't do it.
yeah. They were one of the people that used to follow me, and then I'd make a take, and then they'd unfollow, and then I'd make another take, and then they'd refollow. They like just recently,
You have
I've
to
had a few
deserve their
people
follow,
refollow.
okay?
Like,
You have to deserve it.
it's so I don't know. I don't care to want it. I don't care to want it.
Hmm.
But I'm still flabbergasted that those were the people that you were originally supposed to debate because that wasn't like even us. Like eventually, I conceded, but we had a little bit of back and forth. But there was no back. I thought those were just a
Hmm.
bunch of your friends that hopped in the VC with you.
No, none of those people like me. They all, I think, are very adversely against me. There are little pockets of the
Well,
internet
they
I like to
seem
point my
to
head
be
into.
pretty agreeing with you
Well, yeah, because I'm
and
in
on your.
VC. This is something that happens every single time that I have a conversation with people. I'm so glad whenever I have somebody who's actually willing to argue with me about something. I have people who are really confident about what they're saying on Twitter, and the second they get into VC with me, they're like, I think we might have some disagreements on a couple of things. And like in chat, they're like, I'm going to rip your throat out, okay? I'm going to separate your organs from your body. And it's like there's polarly different people that I'm talking to. The second I'm in a room, it's like people completely change up their tune. It's so fucking annoying.
Mm. So they're just a bunch of cattle that refuse to debate people that can debate and only want to
Yeah.
debate people that don't know.
Yeah,
Who was the other?
exactly.
Who's the other person?
I really
Who's
wanted
the
to
other
have a chat
person?
with Keffels at some point, but I don't know. They wanted to talk with
So
Smaggle
me
fucking
and
Daggle.
Keppel, I don't know why she will still follow or why Smaggle's not blocked, but I'm fucking blocked.
Mm-hmm.
That makes absolutely no sense to me. And me and her, we talked in DM back and forth a few times, right? But then like, oh my God forbid I say that um I don't even remember what I said. It wasn't even that fucking bad. Oh, God forbid I say that. So I looked at it. I looked at the Kiwi, and here's all of Destiny's interaction throughout all of Kiwi Farms, and it was 4 fucking things, and it had nothing to do with her thread. and
That's
she blocked me
oh
for it.
no, Destiny's admitted to like trolling his own portion of Kiwi Farms. Of course he
No,
does.
he's trolled. He has there's four total posts. That's it
Well,
that he's made on
well,
Kiwi
whose
Farms, and
threads
they
are they
were
all
months
on?
ago. Huh?
Whose
They're on
threads are they
his
on?
own thread.
Yeah, that
All
fucking
on them.
checks out,
Yeah,
dude. I told you,
yeah. And I
Destiny
showed her the
made
screenshots,
comments on his own threads. Yeah.
and I gave her all the proof because, and the only reason why I even looked at her thread was because she brought it up. I didn't even know she had a thread until she started talking about it. Just like Hunter Avalon, the only reason why he was looking at it was because she talked about it when she was talking to
Mm-hmm.
Stardust. That's
Yeah.
the majority of people went on there for that. And I was like, I was looking through it because you won't give me the proof that Destiny was on your thread. And then I found Destiny stuff. I figured it out. It was stupid fucking hard because that site's just ridiculous to me. But
Oh,
I
Kiwi
was like,
Farms is
here's the only time.
oh boy,
Yeah.
it's quite the
I
site.
was like, here, this is it. And she goes, no, that's not it. I was like, yeah, it is. And then I showed her scrolling, and then she blocked me because I guess my proof doesn't match up with her whatever.
Oh no, dude.
But
I have a super moderate view on Cuffles. I don't know. I'd
I
like to
don't
have a conversation with
see.
them at some point, but it's like so fucking difficult to have conversations
There's
with some of these streamers,
absolutely
dude.
no point. She won't. She won't. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to guarantee this. Ready? Here's what's going to happen when you have a conversation with couples. She's going to ask you about your feelings on someone that you're friends with online, right? And then she's going to tie that person to somebody else who they're friends with. And then therefore you are just like them
It's
because
insane
that's all
shit.
she does. That's all. And there
And
is,
I have so
there's
many
no
defenses
point.
against things like that, right? Like one thing that people will try and do, and this is like I think this is the only thing that people like often do go by association with me on. I've had a couple of people do like Augie, but like every single time I have an issue with Augie, I DM Augie about it. Even like for example, whenever I saw like certain people in Augie's community being like super fucking gay and shit, like
Yeah.
doing the transphobia shit. I would like DM Augie. It was like, yeah, it's probably not a good idea to have these people as higher ups in the community, right? I don't know. I like every single time that I'm friends with somebody and I have like an issue with something that they're doing, I'm pretty vocal about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm every time I have an issue with someone that I'm friends with, the only people that I don't publicly have issue with, because like everyone's probably seen and known how me and Tipster used to go back and forth on Twitter all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but private, but like privately, um, there's like maybe four people that I'll give the courtesy of going of messaging private, and they do the same for me. They, whatever, but they're not very active, or they're not doing whatever they're saying or whatever. They're not active online. They're not big creators, right? But uh, it doesn't matter to Keffels, even if you disavow them publicly,
Mm-hmm.
because you're still cool with them, and you're not saying
Well, yeah.
that they're
Why would
not
I?
racist, or you're not saying that they're not transphobic. So if you don't say that and you don't agree with her viewpoint of that person, she's
I don't
gonna
know.
she's gonna attach you to them.
I don't know. I think I'm pretty fine at expressing myself in conversations where people are highly accusatory towards me.
All right. I really hope you get that interview, because I would love to see the one time that someone defends themselves against the guilt by association accusations from
Yeah.
Catholics. I would love it. I haven't seen
The people are kind of a little bit crazy. I don't know.
it.
Having a private rapport with
Yeah.
people is a phenomenal thing, just to rare for it to last long, to be long lasting and a drama thing. The problem is with having like a private rapport with some people is there's people who like flip shit if you have like a criticism of them. Um, there are people who have like absolutely fucking cut ties with me whenever I said like, yeah, this is probably not like a good thing to do. Or there are people who, even like people who don't really have a reputation, I've been like, yo, homie, by the way, I'm gonna disagree with you on Twitter on this one. If you like, here's the thread I'm gonna write. If you want to take it down, you can. If you don't want to take it down, I'm gonna publicly say that like I disagree with it. Either or, like I don't really give a fuck. And people have been like super fucking schizo about it. Some people are just like insane.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not. I guess so. You're right. I mean, but
Mhm.
That's the thing. Online is it's just a completely different world and a completely different ball game where people don't act normal. Nobody acts normal.
No, they don't.
And if you absolutely nobody. Absolutely, like just like I was talking about Steve. So everyone knows I went to the Death Noodles battle, right? And face to face with Steve, cool guy. We were cool. We had many good moments together, right? But then offline, when he's online, it's yeah, she was crazy. She was this. She was. I'm like, wait, this you seem to have a great time talking to me and interacting with me when we were face to face, but now there's like, what? Okay, whatever you say, but it's and I was cool with him because he was cool with me face to face. But now, no, let him try to be cool with me again. Hell no, because the first thing I'm gonna bring up is like, oh yeah, you're gonna be cool
Mhm.
with the heckler, the weird schizo girl. Like, are you really okay?
Oh
All
boy.
right,
I don't know.
but
Heckling's kind of funny. See, it's a good meme.
no, it wasn't even so. I back in like the early like 2008 to like the early 2010s, I was in theater, and I was running shows, I was running plays, I was running concerts. I was like the promoter, right? I worked for a big promotion company, right? And sometimes I would be involved. Um, and the hecklers that I've had and that I've dealt with were horrible. Like it was literally like suck and boo, like booing, sucking, like interrupting the set, interrupting everything, kind of things like that. Because people bomb on stage, and that's perfectly understandable. However, the way Jeff bombed on stage, I've never seen someone bomb that hard and not ever come back from it. Like they bombed the entire time. Um, but them
Yeah.
thinking like, oh, like the way I heckled during that show brought more substance to that show in my mind. I mean,
Mhm.
and a lot of people online agree. Like, I just don't understand. I just don't understand it. But it is what it is.
Mhm.
Uh, and now I just lost track of where we were talking about because I like to talk. So.
Oh, dude, I don't know. Fucking Death Noodles. I've
Goodness.
made an entire fucking like 10-minute long video about Death Noodles and my thoughts on this fucking irony poison shit. I've stand by the video completely. It's a good video. But I don't have much desire to talk about Death Noodles. It's just every single time that you
Yeah.
talk about somebody like Death Noodles, you're going to have to you have to just like to get to the thing that you want to criticize, you have to go through like 20 other things and establishing those
Mhm.
before you even get to the final point. So like the first thing you'd have to go through is um how do we determine that someone's being satirical? The second thing you have to determine is like if people don't get the satirical joke, is that really bad? And then like the third thing you have to go through is like what makes good satire, and you go through like all of this shit. And it's like it's just
I
so
mean,
not
you
worth it.
could go through that, or you can just do it the way I did it and just shit on him.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
But I mean, or and just get to the bottom. But you're definitely a different breed um, of person than me because you're like I want people to understand exactly what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, and to come to my conclusion. Whereas I'm like, I don't even give a shit if you agree with me ever.
I don't know. I
So,
used to have this like super fucking narrow-minded viewpoint where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna say things that are like objectively true, and if people don't understand them, like, yeah, they suck. Like, go suck a cock.
uh-huh.
But now, like the more and more that I get into this thing, the longer that I do this for, it's like, okay, well, there's probably some merit to getting people to agree with you, right? It's probably a good thing to have people arrive at your conclusion and be as like clear and coherent as possible. Um,
Yeah.
so I've done
I
things.
guess like if
I've worked with
you're
yeah.
well, I said, I guess if your intention isn't like so when you're making content or when you're having debates, it's not just really solely for your audience, it's for your audience plus people that would normally disagree with you, I guess you're saying.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't really have much desire in like talking to people who already agree with me. That's why
Yeah.
almost every single time, there's a good portion of my audience who just like straight up disagrees with me. I know some quite a bit of my audience is like conservative leaning.
Hmm.
Specifically when it comes to conversations, I try constantly to talk to people who just like blatantly disagree with me on like a bunch of different issues. I think it's just infinitely more interesting than having a conversation with people who
Oh
like
no,
already have
I
your
mean, I
conclusions.
was more referring to because you said like I'm not making this, so like when I made my Death Doodles video, I wasn't looking for, to turn his fans against him. I was just shitting
Gotcha.
on Death Noodles from like my whole channel is based on shitting on people. Really, just it's not, and it's for my fans. Like every single person other than Prime K's that I've done a video on was requested by multiple people. Like, oh my god, you should do a video on so and so and whatnot. You know, like the Prime K's one was the only one that nobody really asked for, nobody really liked. It only
Mm-hmm.
got, I don't know, like 4,000 views. What? But uh that one was for me because I thought she was a crazy bitch. So, um, but I guess I'm like I wouldn't want to debate someone that agrees with me because then that's not a debate. But when
All
I'm
my video,
debating, I'm not debating
mm-hmm. Yeah.
to get them to agree with me either. You know?
Well, when I'm debating somebody publicly versus privately, there's obviously going to be different things to that. But then also, I think it's kind of it's most of the time when I make content, it's made for people who already disagree with me. So if I'm going to be making a video essay on somebody like Deaf Noodles, the primary target audience of the people would be people who buy into like Deaf Noodles' defenses, and I'm like, okay, well, here's why these don't stand up to scrutiny. Here's why it's like a bad satirist, and here's like the things that I would suggest to improve, right?
Mm.
Well, and even when I'm debating somebody, I'm almost debating for that little like in between people who are kind of undecided, and then hopefully I can like win some of their audience over with it. But there are times where I've just completely give up on like getting somebody to agree with me. So for example, I was just in a conversation with Dingo. And some other fucking retarded ass kid on the internet. I don't fucking know. And the person like just started calling me a pedophile and like all this other wild shit. I was obviously not debating to convince that person. I don't give a fuck if that person agrees with me. Okay, they're insane. They're fucking crazy. They have no idea why they believe anything they do. And there's no. I could talk with that person for like 50 hours straight, and they would be no smarter. Okay, they're dumb. They're dumb as fucking rocks. But hopefully, I can have a conversation with them, and an audience, a third party audience, is going to be more convinced of my position. They're going to be convinced of their position. So that'd be like the goal in certain situations. But then there's other situations where it was like the person's being pretty reasonable with me. I try and like pull them over towards my side.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. Yeah. I guess. And then I guess that just kind of ties back to what I had said initially, like a bit ago when I was like, when I first started out, I was like, let me, be optical so that I can get the most people on my side. So I guess that's the mindset. And since I don't care about growing anymore, I don't care about getting people on my
Mm-hmm.
side. But what's funny
Gotcha.
is when I stopped doing that is when people started like I'm getting subscribers and followers now, and I'm like, what the stop? I'm like, because I don't want to make content. I don't want to make content. I'm not like just stop because this is just, and I don't want to deal like the more followers you have, the more people, of course, are gonna see what you're tweeting. Like just for Twitter, like the more followers I get, the more people are gonna see what I'm tweeting. The more people are gonna share what I'm tweeting or share their opinions
Yeah.
on what I'm tweeting, um, and it's fucking irritating. just, I just want to say what I
Gotcha.
want to say and not have to deal with the consequences. Um, but I guess that's just not possible at
Mm-hmm.
all. I guess the day you stop caring is the day that everything that you cared about before starts happening and stupid. So that's a little philosophical, but
Gotcha.
anyways.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I still, I think that you should be more careful with your information. Definitely.
The information I gave to
Um,
somebody like a fucking year ago. Yeah, dog. Totally fucking. I
yes,
agree. I shouldn't have
definitely.
been friends with them to begin with. Yeah.
No, no, not until you
Shit,
meet
really?
them IRL and you get their information.
I don't know,
That's
dog.
the only.
Fuck, maybe I meet somebody IRL and I give them like my phone number and they end up leaking it. I was like, dude, I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, there's always that risk, but the risk is so much less after you've known them IRL and you've known them. Like before me and THS met, we had known each other for like a year and a half. So, and we talked often. Like it was like an online friendship.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Yeah, I think that you should just hold that shit close to you because I just because like had because you got your face. You've told people like your city and state. I'm assuming, right?
Yep.
You've been public with where you live, city and state. Like even me, I say L.A. I don't like I live in the county, but LA is pretty fucking huge, right? So good luck finding exactly which city in LA I live, right? Um,
Mhm.
uh, and then if you narrow it down, oh well, Jessica said she lived in the ghetto. Meh. Hmm. Good luck finding a specific ghetto.
I don't know, dog. It's like
Everything is
if I end up
ghetto.
getting, I don't know. More and more as I'm on the internet, the more and more I think like, okay, dude, fuck. If I end up getting doxxed, like just shit, dude. Who gives a fuck? I feel like
Mm.
people think doxing is like way more important than it actually is. So
Yeah, I mean it
whenever it comes to
so
yeah.
that's the only problem with that is so like I'm then you get cases like Capital who got doxxed
Yeah,
and
dude. If
now
everybody fucking really wants to fuck with your shit, dude, maybe they do. But then
yeah
there's also ways of like having your shit not fucked with that I think Keffels is just refusing to take
yeah
the option of. I think it's absolutely like it's super like self-victimizing whenever Keffels like, oh yeah, I just have to go to fucking Europe with the with $100,000 that were donated to me on the internet because some
right
police showed up at
yeah
my door. It's like you can call your
no
police station. You say, hey, by the way, people are gonna try and fuck with my shit. Just like have that going into it, right? You can call
that's
people.
how
You can call
streamers
places
like
that like deliver
yeah
pizzas and be like, "Hey, deliver to my address. If it's
yeah
a robocall, make sure like I confirm it." That's like these are like
mhm,
really super basic things you can do. There are
yeah
things you can do to protect yourself from like people fucking with your shit that aren't just like moving and shit like that. Like I think it's like 100% self victimizing to some degree.
I mean yeah I mean and but yeah it's
No, that being said, like she shouldn't have been doxxed, and I know people are going to try and use that to say
no
like you're super anti-Keffels. It's like
no
no, there's just like other options, right?
yeah
Like
yeah
there are so many
it
people in
really is so
politics who have
because
gotten like
we've
shit like
seen
super doxxed, and those
yeah
people they just take like, other precautions. Not every single person moves the second they get doxxed. There's totally ways of continuing to make
no
content.
no but then I mean there's proof of it like Keemstar or Ethan you know when someone tries to swat them what happens they don't get cops to the door they get a call to make sure everything's okay you know because they set that up and that's not hard to do at all. I mean, I don't live in Canada, and these are both American instances, but it's not really hard to do. So, I mean, but it,
Like I'm sorry, can you
it
repeat
does
that one more
stuff.
time? What about
I'm saying there's so like, there's how you said, oh, it's super, you know, there's steps that you can take to not get, you know, to
Oh
not
yeah, no, you
get
can, and
swatted
even
or
in like,
anything. Yeah.
is in America, I think
Yeah.
it's like even easier to get swatted than it is in Canada. There's just like
It's
less
super,
ability. Yeah,
super easy.
it's easier to not get swatted in Canada than it is America. So it's just
Yeah.
I just don't buy it. I'm on the like this. I'm on the run narrative from Kiwi Force. Come on, dog.
Mm.
Just fucking call up your political fucking police department. Tell them to not fucking swat your shit. Um,
No, especially how it's so fucking public now. It would be so much easier than even Ethan Klein or Keemstar having to call the cops and set things up, you know? It's so much easier for her to be
mhm.
like, "Hey, you see me on the news. Don't come to my house if someone says something. Call me." You know?
Yeah,
Make sure I'm
exactly.
okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's extremely
There are
easy
just
for
so many easier ways to deal with this, and it's clearly a victimization, like a self-victimization thing. Now she is a victim of certain things, but not to the extent of which she's trying to make it out. Like she has to like move from her home. She has to go to Europe, and she, like,
Mm-mm.
come on, okay, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know I've
I
got
just can't
people
wait.
on the
I
internet
hope
who've
they
gotten their
release.
shit fucking rocked, okay, and I've helped them set things up, and I've helped them secure their shit. So whatever it's like comes to
Yeah.
me getting docked, it's Like, it'd be unfortunate. I don't want it to happen, but it's also like, okay, shit, if I get doxxed, like, I'll fucking, I've already called up, like, places that I work, right, and told them that, you know, if people
Hmm.
send you shit, just talk to me about it, right? I've,
I mean,
I haven't
I'm
talked to, like,
fortunate
but,
that
like, if I were to get doxxed, let's, like, talk with the police stations and talk with, like, local, like, delivery
yeah,
places and, like, all that type of shit.
yeah.
And, like, what's the chance that somebody, like, actually comes down to your house? I don't know, dude, fuck, if somebody comes down to your house, just shoot them. I don't fucking know.
I mean, so I'm super fucking fortunate because if someone ever came to my house, good luck getting to me. Because I mean, I'll just look it down at my balcony out to you and be like, go ahead and try, figure out
Mm-hmm.
a way, figure out a way. Because there's about 8 gates you have to get through. Find a way. Go ahead, try it. But also, I'm also super fortunate that if someone ever found out where I worked, they wouldn't find a way to contact them because it's secured.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like there's no, you can't contact my place of work. You can't even find anybody that I work with. You can't find their names. You can't find, like, so,
Gotcha.
because
Yep.
it's a security risk for my
Mm-hmm.
job to be known about what it is and where they are. But so I'm fortunate in that, but I also don't think I'll ever get doxxed because if somebody ever found my real name, good luck trying to find the right one. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially now, more so. Like when I was in Virginia, maybe. Here, fuck no. Fuck no, no one's finding me here in California. Hell no. Ugh. But anyways,
Gotcha.
all right. Well, this was nice. Thank you for
Nice chat,
having
dude.
taken the call. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Anytime. I talk with everybody on my show. It's a beautiful thing about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, good one.
All right. So,
Bye.
bye. Boy. Shit, dude. Um, that was a Jessica Pizzle conversation. That took a while. I'm glad it kept civil, though. I don't know. Um, I have... Oh, God. Jessica says a lot of things that are just sound really fucking dumb, and I don't know. I guess it was a fine conversation. Could have been worse.